Junior Reading Tutor Level 4. Section 1. 1. Imagine eating delicious food and getting paid for it. That's the job of a professional food taster. It might seem like the perfect career, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Tasters don't only check the taste of food. They must also pay attention to its appearance and odor. Also, they can't eat as much as they want. Usually, they take a small bite and spit it back out. In the past, being a food taster was actually dangerous. Roman emperors used slaves as food tasters. They had to eat and check if the food had been poisoned. Even today, a leader may hire people to check if food is safe to eat. What makes them different from past food tasters is that these people analyze food scientifically rather than taste it themselves. Does it still sound like the perfect job? To get hired, you must have strong senses and be able to describe smells and tastes in great detail.
2.
Good luck!
Eating less is good for your health. It is a simple way to lose weight. It reduces the risk of many diseases, and it can help you live longer. However, trying to eat less can be stressful. So here are some simple ways to make yourself a small eater. First, use dishes that are small and blue. Small dishes are helpful because they fool your brain. Everything looks bigger on a small dish. Also, the color blue can reduce your appetite. In an experiment, researchers found that people ate 33% less when they were in a blue room. Second, you should light vanilla candles whenever you are hungry, since the sweet smell of vanilla calms the part of your brain that makes you want to eat. Finally, try to eat in a relaxing environment. Having dinner with soft lighting and with soft music playing will make you eat more slowly, and people who eat slowly generally eat less.
Imagine your teacher gives you homework about vegetarianism. You could research the topic on the internet or visit a library to find information. But there's a better way. Why not talk directly to a vegetarian at a human library? Human libraries, sometimes referred to as living libraries, give people the chance to learn about topics from living experts. Each expert is called a human book. People who visit human libraries to learn are called readers. Readers can borrow human books and have conversations with them. The purpose of human libraries is to help people learn from one another through direct communication. Human books can share their real-life experiences with their own voices, and readers can ask any specific questions they have. Also, human libraries encourage understanding between people who would not normally meet. It is hoped that this will reduce problems caused by prejudice and stereotypes. What kind of book would you like to borrow from a
4.
human library?
Could Wi-Fi really be spread all over the world by balloons? Google has been working on this idea with its Project Loon. Project Loon's balloons operate like wireless stations, and together they become a network in the sky. This network works with ground stations to give internet access to anyone using Google's special antenna. So, even people in remote areas can access the internet. Also, the balloons are made from cheap materials and are powered by the sun and wind. In other words, they could lower the cost of providing internet access to poor areas. Balloons have been successfully launched in Peru, Puerto Rico, and several other places. However, not all of the news has been positive. Some devices crashed in remote parts of Colombia and Brazil. In addition, in places like Sri Lanka, Google does not have legal permission to send out its signal. Spreading Wi-Fi all over the world is surely
Section
not
2.
easy.
1. The Keeling curve is a graph that shows the changes in the level of CO2 in the air over time in a particular place. It was named after the scientist Charles Keeling, who actually measured the change every day for 47 years. This continuous measurement took place at Mauna Loa in Hawaii. Being far away from human activity, this location was ideal for collecting clean air. Interestingly, the higher the curve goes, the more severe the weather becomes. This is because CO2 is highly related to climate change. Let's look at the example of typhoons. If CO2 levels in the air increase, temperatures and sea levels around the globe rise. This increases the amount of water vapor in the air. All those water molecules rub together and create energy. Typhoons absorb this energy and become stronger and more dangerous than before. In other words, an increase of CO2 can endanger people's lives by causing violent
2.
weather events.
California's Death Valley National Park is home to the sailing stones, large rocks that actually move across the mud. For decades, the rocks were a mystery because they weigh up to 318 kilograms. Moreover, no one had ever seen them move, but they left clear tracks in the mud. Finally, a team of scientists decided to investigate. Using GPS, cameras, and weather data, they found that the movement is caused by a combination of rain, ice, sun, and wind. First, rain creates a shallow pond. At night, the water at the surface of the pond freezes, and the ice surrounds the rocks. During the day, however, the ice starts to melt, breaking up into large sheets that push against the rocks. Of course, this alone isn't enough to move the rocks. When wind speeds reach about 11 kilometers per hour, the force of the ice and wind together causes the rocks to move at speeds up to 5 meters per minute. The mystery
3.
was solved.
Snow isn't always white. A type of mysterious pink snow, known as watermelon snow, has been found in various places around the world, including the Rocky Mountains, the Himalayas, the Arctic, and Antarctica. For thousands of years, people were unable to explain it. Finally, a scientist discovered its cause: tiny, reddish algae. These algae tend to bloom in conditions that include freezing temperatures and the presence of water. For this reason, watermelon snow occurs in mountain ranges and other places where glaciers exist. When the sun begins to melt snow in early spring, The algae began to bloom rapidly in snow. This colors the snow pink. Pink snow may be pretty, but it actually causes a serious problem. Watermelon snow's pinkish color makes it absorb more sunlight, which speeds up the melting process of glaciers. Considering that the rapid melting of glaciers threatens life on Earth, it is definitely not
4.
our friend.
Have you ever seen tiny objects floating in a sunbeam? They are often pieces of dust and other material produced when coal and oil are burned. They cause air pollution and increase the risk of many diseases. However, they also cause another problem. They make the Earth darker. This is known as global dimming. Studies have shown that the Earth currently receives about 10% less sunlight than it did 50 years ago. This is because these tiny objects in the air absorb some of the sun's energy and reflect solar radiation back into space. They also pollute clouds, making it harder for sunlight to pass through. As a result of these things, some sunlight cannot reach the Earth's surface. Since all living things need sunlight to survive, global dimming can have serious effects. It can also cause changes in the Earth's weather. What should we do to reduce dust and stop
Section 3.
global dimming?
1. When he was a small boy, Saru Brierly became lost on the streets of Kolkata, far from his hometown in rural India. Saru was adopted by an Australian family and had a happy life. However, he never stopped hoping to find his family in India. In college, Saru began to search satellite images of India to find his hometown. It seemed like a good idea, but it was not easy because he only remembered the name Ganestale and a few landmarks near his childhood home. Saru repeatedly stopped and restarted his search. After many years, Saru accidentally found a familiar-looking small town called Ganeshtalai. This was the name that Saru mispronounced as Ganestale. 1 year later, Saru traveled to India to find his family. With the help of local people, he finally met his mother, brother, and sister still living in Ganeshtalai. It took
2.
25 years.
One day, a boy visited his grandmother, Nokomis. As he entered her home, he noticed a spider spinning its web by a window. Taking off his shoe, he screamed, "Grandma!" With his shoe in his hand, he rushed over to kill the creature. "Sweetheart," Nokomis said, "please don't. It doesn't hurt you, and it is making a beautiful web." Later on, she visited the spider. Actually, it was not an ordinary spider. It had powerful magic. "You saved me, Nokomis," it said. "Without you, I would have died." Nokomis smiled and responded, "It was my pleasure." "Let me repay you, faithful friend," the spider said. Then it began moving through its web. "As you know, my web catches prey. But look closer. Each stitch catches bad dreams, too. Remember my technique, Nokomis, and use it to weave your own webs. The webs will bring you wonderful dreams each night. Thank you. I will, Nokomis said, and I shall call them dream catchers.
When winter ends and the first hint of spring is in the air, India becomes flooded with excitement, joy, and bright colors. People begin preparing for the colorful festival known as Holi. It is an Indian national holiday that celebrates the coming of spring. The celebrations begin with a ritual bonfire that burns away Holika, the devil, on the night before Holi. People spend time dancing, singing, and having a great time with each other. Then, on the day of Holi, everyone goes outside and throws powder of various beautiful colors at one another. People also toss balloons full of water and dye. Others even spray colored water from water guns. After enjoying the color fights, people spend time eating festive seasonal foods with their family and friends. Everyone is allowed to participate and have fun during the festival. This means that not only is Holi fun, but it also plays the important role of bringing people together.
One of the most important places in Korea is hidden in Seongbuk-dong, Seoul. It is Gansong Art Museum. It is the first private art museum in Korea and holds the largest number of Korean national treasures. Surprisingly, all of the valuable pieces there were collected by a single person, Jeon Hyung-pil, or Gansong, the founder of the museum. During the Japanese occupation of Korea, many Korean works of art were destroyed or taken by the Japanese. Jeon wanted to stop this. He devoted his life and his whole fortune to buying back and collecting the nation's works of art to keep them safe. Many of the things he purchased, including Hunmin Jeongum Haerye and Shin Yun-bok's picture book, are now Korean national treasures. The house he put them in became Gansong Art Museum, which was named after him. Through his art collection, Jeon helped to preserve Korea's cultural heritage. Furthermore, he helped Koreans better understand
Section
their own
4.
culture.
1. If you search for the highest mountain in the world on the internet, most of the results will say it is Mount Everest. Those results will also tell you that Mount Everest's peak is 8,848 meters above sea level. However, if you change the search word slightly, you will get different results. Change the highest to the tallest. Then the results will most likely say it is Mauna Kea, a Hawaiian volcano. It does not seem to be the tallest mountain at all, because it only reaches 4,205 meters above sea level. However, over half of it is hidden under the sea. From its true base at the bottom of the ocean to its peak, it is 10,203 meters tall. So, Mauna Kea is more than 1 kilometer taller than Mount Everest, even though it is
2.
not as high.
Some hobbies can contribute important knowledge to science. One of these is astronomy. Amateur astronomers have made countless discoveries. In 2009, for example, an amateur astronomer named Anthony Wesley found an unusual mark on Jupiter while he was observing it by telescope. He reported it to experts, who believe it is a scar created by the impact of a large object. This discovery could provide valuable information about the dangers of objects moving through space. In 2016, a man named Victor Busso attached a camera to his 16-inch telescope. After taking a few pictures, he noticed a strange light in one of them. It came from an exploding star, which turned out to be a supernova. Such photos are very rare, and Busso's helped scientists learn more about the life of stars. Amateur astronomers have no formal training, but they can still make important discoveries. Do you have a hobby that might change the
3.
world someday?
Until 1965, the world ate a more delicious type of banana, the Gros Michel. However, Panama disease killed almost all of the Gros Michel plants. Banana growers then began to depend on a different type of banana, the Cavendish. Now, almost all bananas in the world are grown from this type of plant. However, a new type of the disease is threatening the Cavendish as well. This disease has already spread to Asia, Australia, and Africa, and it may soon reach South America. The problem is that banana plants do not grow from seeds. Instead, they grow from small pieces of other banana plants. So, if one plant has a disease, all of the plants that grow from it will also be easily affected by that disease. Experts agree that the only way to save bananas is to grow many different types of bananas. This will make it harder for diseases to spread from one type of banana plant
4.
to another.
When you look at the Sahara Desert today, you see a dry, lifeless land. However, it is believed that the Sahara once received lots of rainfall and had lakes and rivers. This period, now known as the Green Sahara period, may have started about 11,000 years ago and lasted until about 5,000 years ago. What do you think this region was like then? A team of researchers recently made a surprising discovery that helps us understand more about this interesting time. They found the skeletons of more than 200 human beings, along with hunting tools, fishing instruments, and other artifacts. They also uncovered the bones of large fish and crocodiles. These animals could not have survived in a desert climate. Can you now believe the Sahara Desert used to be very different? Researchers will continue to study this area. We can expect to learn more about the Sahara Desert's unexpected past and the ancient people who once called the Sahara their home.